All right. Well, in the world of digital marketing, of course, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, especially involving technology. So, if you were just on the previous live, I apologize. I tried to go live on desktop and it wasn't letting me screen share so that I can show you how I build it on desktop. So, I'm going to try doing that on mobile and see if I can screen share on here. And if I can't, then I'll just turn the camera around on mobile and show you my desktop and we'll create one together. So, sometimes you just got to go with the flow here. It is never always the easiest, and with social media, it is always fun because they just like to change everything up all the time. Okay, so let's see if it allows me to share my screen on here. It doesn't look like I can. So let's just go ahead and dive in, and I'm gonna head it and just turn the screen around when we get to creating the thumbnail. So because I just deleted those past lives, let me just recap what a thumbnail is, why it's important, and then we'll create one together. So a thumbnail is crucial in YouTube because it is the number one, according to YouTube, the number one reason that people will decide to choose your video if they do not know who you are, if they know nothing of your content and who you are as a creator. So that's huge. There's a lot of pressure to make sure it's good, it's eye-catching, and this is something that a lot of people just neglect. They do not even create a thumbnail when you upload a video. If you've uploaded anything, you probably know YouTube gives you a couple default ones, which are basically, they just pick moments in the video and it's where it stops at a certain point, and then they'll be like, here are 3 options for your thumbnail. But more times than not, the options for your thumbnail are your face going like this, like weird faces because you're talking, right? So it's never a clear, beautiful screenshot of what you would want people to see. So more times than not, I think every single time you should always create your own thumbnail. The thumbnail is just the image you see when you go to YouTube. It's any type you're looking at videos, it's that image that you see that basically gives you more context, gives you more of an idea of what the creator or the video is about. So without further ado, let's just dive in and I'll show you more what I mean by looking at it. So here is the best tool that I've found when wanting to create a thumbnail. It's a very easy to use tool and it's called Canva, not Canvas, Canva. So go there, canva.com. I have the pro version. So the only difference meaning is that I can actually add a brand kit. And so this allows me to add any of my logos, the text fonts I want to use, and any brand colors. So you can 100% do this on a free version, and you can already see kind of some of the stuff that I've created. A lot of these are Instagram stories, presentations, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the search bar, and what Canva has is basically everything in dimensions. If you want an Instagram post, a Facebook video, a poster, a logo, anything like that that's visual, even presentations and decks, you can just type in what you're looking for and they already have things built, templates, in the dimension that you need it for. So let's go ahead and type in, thumbnail. So YouTube thumbnail right here. So you can see the dimension that it lists, 1280 by 720. But the reason I recommend using these custom built templates is because one thing that's frustrating with YouTube is when you create thumbnails, you get one thumbnail image that works for Apple TV visuals, for your mobile, your phone, right? And then desktop. Those are all 3 different very, very different screens and sizes. So more times than not, people get confused and it's really huge on mobile, really tiny on Apple TV, etc. So using one of these custom thumbnails just helps kind of for sure getting that image correct. So now here you can see a bunch of different options for potential thumbnails. So it's totally up to you, and you don't ever have to use any of these templates. You could even just look here, get some inspiration, and then make your own from scratch. You can totally just type in, or I think it's up at the top, create a blank one. So if you want to just do your own, pull your own screenshot from the video, add some text in your own style, then boom, that is the way to go, and at least it will be cut in the dimensions that you need. If you are like myself, and I am not a graphic designer, I'm not even like much of a visual person, I love using these templates because it just allows me to do something that will definitely be eye-catching, and then you'll see in a second, all you have to do is switch out your image, change the text or copy, and then you're as good as new, and you just save it and upload it in YouTube. So let's go over an example. Let's choose, how about this one? Click whichever one you want, and it's gonna open it up here. And now all you need to do is change the image, change the color if it's not your color. You can add or delete icons like this. You can go ahead and add, new text here. You can move these around the page. It's totally customizable. Now you'll see over here, if you decide you want to change your mind or you're making a lot of YouTube thumbnails, you can click different ones or add pages. This isn't a full Canva tutorial, so I'm not going to go through like all the things you can do. I'm just going to walk you through this specific example. Next thing you can do is upload any images you might have for yourself. So these are images that I've already uploaded from my own camera roll, from other platforms that have free stock photos. So say, for example, I just wanted to do this. I can drag and drop my own image. I can double click, move it up higher, move it over. If I didn't want to be entirely in it and block my face off, then I can do that. I can move it over here as well, click done, and then boom. Now let's say I want to change the color because I don't really post anything with pink right now. This is more of some of the colors that I'm using. So maybe I keep that blue. Maybe I want to keep this and change the background. So let me click the background. There we go. Now I'm going to change that to my lighter blue that I use. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Click the outer corner, change the color, boom. Now I want to go in, I want to click on the font. I can even just highlight it here, go up to the top. I want this to be white, let's say. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Go up, click, oops, it was already on it. Click white, and then boom, it already is starting to look like it's more in my vibe of content that I create. So let's say, okay, I don't mind that font, but it's not a font that I typically use. Now I can go through, see ones I recently use. I can also see my brand fonts. So these top 3 are the ones that I've pre-selected in that brand kit I showed you in the beginning. So these are the ones meaning I typically gravitate towards. So let's do the middle one. And you can see that it's too big, right? So each font is a little bit different in terms of size. So now I'm going to go up to the 82, and I'm going to see if I can make it 80 if that's small enough. It's not. Let's go to the one below, and you can customize these too. If you wanted to do 74, then you can add 74 as well. And then just push enter. And okay, cool, so that's more in my style. Or maybe I'm just not liking it, and for this visual, you can always push back and it will go back to as many different changes you want. So now let's do, I'm typing with one finger, so I might misspell a few things. How to make. And then what you'll see you can do here is even make it wider. Let's go ahead and make this smaller because the text is too long. Let's do 72, maybe? No, not yet. 64. All right, let's just say that's good enough. How to make, oh gosh, it's hard with one hand. Okay, how to make a thumbnail. Let's just say that that's good enough. Typically you can move this down, but it's probably because of the font that they're using. Now let's go ahead, say that I like this icon. I can just go ahead and change the coloring if I want it to be white or that light blue that I'm using. And then I can delete this box entirely. Say I don't even want that. I just want it to be plain and simple like that. I can do that. Or I can go back up here. Wait a second. I actually want to keep that. And I want to add more context and write using Canva. Now I can go up, again, change the font to white so people can actually see it. I can change the font as well. So let's see what it looks like with the yellow tail that I use. Okay, great. But it looks kind of small. Let's see if I can just drag this out, make it bigger. I can also drag this side too. And then I can choose to move it. If I click off and then I click again, you can see I can rotate it here, or I can just grab the entire text box and do that. All right, so let's say this is great for what I need. One last thing I'll show you is you can actually go, because say you don't have photos. I just took this with my simple Canon camera, so I always take screen grabs, thumbnail kind of type photos if I know I'm making a YouTube video for it. But let's say you just want to use a high profile stock photo. So let's say, I wonder what would happen if I type in thumbnail. They probably might not have something this specific. But maybe I could type in graphic design. Sorry, it's hard to type with one finger. Okay. All right, so maybe we like that one. Let's see what that looks like there. Okay, cool. So then if this works for you, you can type in any keywords up here in the search bar. We're under the photo section. You can also do video, but right now it doesn't, YouTube doesn't offer the thumbnail to stay a video, so it would probably just stay blurry or capture a screen grab. So then this is great. You know what? I'm gonna go back just because it'll be branded to me and it'll make more sense. Boom, now we got our thumbnail, we're ready to go. All you gotta do is go up here, you can name it. Anything you want, I'll just do my thumbnail. Great naming system. That's going to be very helpful when I'm searching for it. And then you just click download. Here we have options for PNG. If you did make any type of video option, then there's MP4 video down here. So say you made an Instagram story, right? That's going to be a video. So, or you could do an image, but say you wanted to do a video, then you have the option to make it a video as well. So this is PNG. It helps by saying suggested. So based on whatever you're making, it's going to tell you which is the best option to choose. You don't have to think about that. And then you can change the size, but I'm not going to change anything at all. I'm not going to add transparent because I want it exactly how it is here. And I'm just going to press download. And now it'll take a couple seconds, prepare the image, boom. Now it is in my desktop and I can look for it under this name in the downloads option and I'm good to go. So let me show you the last step in uploading it, where you would go to do that. So let's go to YouTube. If I can type with one hand, then that would work. And I'm gonna make this full screen. All right, without going into too much detail, all we're going to do, because YouTube, we could go into so much descriptions, you're going to upload a video and it's gonna bring you to this pop-up. Here, you're gonna go and select your file. I have everything just saved to my computer. And just click any video. So what's cool about YouTube is now they accept vertical videos. So say you're creating something for a story, for an IGTV, you can also upload that to YouTube because there are different groups of people on different platforms. So someone might completely resonate with this IGTV you made for Instagram on YouTube and they might be searching for it there. So don't let content that you make for one platform go unnoticed and not be on another platform that someone might like. So we're not going to go through how to optimize this video because that's another whole video. But let's just say right now you can see that it's uploading the video that I just plugged in, and it's at 20%, about 2 minutes left. So we don't need to stay for all of that. But what I wanted to show you is you have the option to add your title, your description, and then boom, here's the thumbnail. So you'll see that it's basically, as it's uploading, it's going to populate 3 options for my thumbnail, but they're all gonna be really bad options. So what I'm gonna do is, I know I created a beautiful thumbnail. I just go, you can see me, that's awesome. And I'm gonna go to my thumbnail. There's the one we just made together. And now it's gonna load it and populate it here. So this gives you kind of a preview of what everyone else will see. This is now the video that they'd see. You'd go through the other options here and then you can fill out, you know, all the other ways to optimize your video. But we'll do that in another video. The main point is here, think about it this way. There's according to October of this month, YouTube released statistics that said over 80% of all YouTube users, which is billions of users, I think it's 3 billion as of October of this year, are on mobile. So that means you made this beautiful, beautiful screen, but see how I only have one word, and I probably even maybe would have taken this out or put the logo for Canva, because if we're thinking that the majority of users, here, I'll flip this back to me. If the majority of users are using their phone, the image is going to be even smaller than if they're on desktop scrolling looking for videos to watch. So when you're thinking about it that way, you almost want to keep them as simple as possible and as vibrant as possible. So let me go back to the page. You'll see that we decided to keep more than half of the image just a photo, right? You can clearly see me, you get an idea of what I look like, you get an idea of maybe what the video might be about, and then you have this large text font. Sometimes when you're creating it in a desktop screen, it might look like, okay, that's really large for text. But you just want to consider that the majority of people are on their phone watching your videos and seeing your thumbnail. So if you make the text too small or your photo too small, or you have a lot going on in your thumbnail, then they might get overwhelmed, they might get confused, or they might not even see that added text. The last thing I wanted to say about the thumbnail is the last tip is to add context to your title. So what I mean by that is, say your title is, let's go with the concept of this is a video about creating a YouTube thumbnail. So maybe I would put keywords like thumbnail, make YouTube. So how to make a killer YouTube thumbnail. That's the title of my video. Now for the thumbnail, I want to add text so there's more context of what the video might be about, but I don't want to use the exact same option that I put in the title. So if the title is how to make a killer YouTube thumbnail, I don't want to put that exact same thing in the visual, because then I have all this extra space to add more context, and I'm just using it for the same things that are in the title. So then maybe I would put additional context of killer thumbnail using Canva, or eye-catching thumbnail using Canva. I might still put the word thumbnail, because sometimes people are just looking at the image first before the title, right? But I don't want to put the whole thing that I just typed in the title. I want to add more context, which is where I would add using Canva, or in 5 seconds, or in 60 seconds. You kind of want to just add more examples and more context as to what the video is about to entice people to then watch your video. So I hope that was helpful. It really doesn't have to be hard, and when it comes to making YouTube videos, if this is helpful, I batch my content, which means basically I'll record maybe 3-4 YouTube videos all at once, and then that way, if I'm recording a YouTube video, I do like posed photos while I'm recording before or after with my camera or my phone, and then that way I'm already thinking ahead of what thumbnail could be cool. I do a bunch of different options because I never know what photos might resonate, what will look good, what I'm gonna be feeling in the later creation of the YouTube videos. But then that way I'm not relying on the screen grabs of weird poses where you're mid-sentence and you're hoping that's gonna work. So that's a really good thing to do, and then that you already have thumbnail options in terms of imaging. And then when you go to create it, I create all the thumbnails at once. So now I could have a month's worth of YouTube videos if I wanted to do one a week. And then I can create all 4 thumbnails at once, probably take 2 minutes or less. And then you're ready to go for the whole month. And you can schedule your videos, you can optimize them all at once, and then boom, you're done. So now you've saved a lot of time, a lot of heartache and headache of having to create more content. I hope that was helpful. This was our end product. And if you have any questions, just comment them down below. And I will see you in the next live, where I'm going to show you how to take a YouTube video and create an Instagram post and an Instagram story. This is huge because we're going to talk content funneling. The whole concept of content funneling is helping you create less content, but then using that content to make micro pieces of content, smaller pieces of content that are going to go on your other socials. So please keep watching, and I will show you what I mean in the next video.